So one of the coolest things about the recently released PS4 exclusive Spider-Man game are all the little Easter eggs scattered throughout. From movie references to various iconic landmarks, us geeks will have plenty to smile about as we journey our way through this utterly stellar Spider-Man experience that Insomniac pour their heart and soul into. Now, one Easter egg that's been making the rounds around the internet is something that was supposed to be beautiful and touching, but instead turned out to be quite depressing. But before we get to that, the story begins with a tweet posted a few months ago on May 10th, 2018 from a man named Tyler, who had a rather interesting request for Insomniac Games. He tweeted, quote, "Evan Falarka, I need your help. This may be selfish, but I'm ready to propose to my girlfriend, and I want to do it in a big way. Insomniac, Brian Inithar, Bill Roseman, is there any way you can put an Easter egg of, Madison, will you marry me anywhere in the game?" Most would think that a request such as this would go ignored or unnoticed, but turned out that Insomniac actually acknowledged and replied to the request. Insomniac responded with, "You sure she doesn't check your Twitter replies, dude?" To which Tyler said, 100%. Insomniac also asked, "Sure you can wait until September 7th? To which Tyler said, "We have just passed our 5 years in April, so I think she'll still be around in September, LOL. The conversation finally concluded with Insomniac saying, "Well, okay then, who are we to say no to love? DMing you and we will see if we can work something out." I must say, it's pretty freaking cool on Insomniac's part that they're willing to take the time to help fulfill a special occasion like this. Lo and behold, fast forward to today, and in the final release, it is very much possible to find the Easter egg in question prominently displayed as the movie title of one of Spider-Man's movie theaters, and it reads, "Maddie, will you marry me?" Very cool and very sweet, right? Well, not so much. While Tyler's heart was in the right place, turns out that all of this has a rather sad ending. Tyler hinted as much in a tweet posted 2 days ago on September 8th that reads, "It's actually more of a sad Easter egg now. I'm uploading a video on YouTube explaining the whole thing." Sure enough, the following day on September 9th, Tyler uploaded a video that basically explained what happened a few weeks prior to the game's launch as follows.
The thing that sucks about this Easter egg is the date that I'm making this video now, 3-4 weeks ago. My girlfriend dumped me to go with my brother, basically throwing away the 5 years that we had together and spitting in my face, basically saying this wasn't even the way that she wanted to be proposed to, and just left me. So this might go down in history as the saddest Easter egg, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, yikes. Well, first things first, my condolences to Tyler for this unfortunate turnout. I just hope he'll find a way to move forward and seek happiness elsewhere. Life goes on. Now, since the video was posted, a number of news outlets have reached out to Tyler for additional details, which he was happy to provide. Speaking to Kotaku, Tyler talked a bit about the thought process behind the proposal, which apparently was derived from his now ex-girlfriend having expressed that she would like to be proposed at a large convention. Extrapolating upon that, Tyler thought he would one-up that by embedding the marriage proposal in one of the biggest video game releases. He also talked about how the folks over at Insomniac were very nice and cooperative with this whole process, talking about how they went back and forth with a few themes and ideas. But given the sad ending to this heartfelt endeavor, Insomniac did reach out to Tyler on Twitter offering to patch out the now unceremonious Easter egg, to which Tyler responded by stating, "Nah, it's good. It's the world's saddest Easter egg. I mean, do you have to change it?" Tyler then followed up with, "Actually, can I message you an idea if that's okay?" This idea, Tyler explained to Kotaku, involves replacing the marriage proposal with the name of his now departed grandmother, who passed away from cancer and who gave him his very first Spider-Man comic book to ignite his current passion and fandom for the iconic superhero. Definitely a very considerate alteration to the Easter egg to memorialize and immortalize someone very special and turn something sour into something sweet. The story doesn't end there though. One outlet, the Houston Press, reached out to the girlfriend, Maddie, to get her side of the story, and here's what she had to say. Basically, Tyler and I had been together for over 5 years. We started dating when I was 15 and a half, and we moved into my parents' house together shortly after due to unforeseen circumstances. Us moving in together so young was, I think, really hard on our relationship. We were living like the Brady Bunch with 8 people in our house. Our relationship was great for a long time, but I started to realize about a year ago that I was not happy. I kept it going because I wanted to make it work, but he has done some things that I realized I really shouldn't have forgave him for. Our relationship had issues, both mentally and physically. He never understood me, unfortunately. Even the proposal, which he thought was the save-all of our relationship, was never the way I would have liked to be proposed to. I never liked video games, but I sat through them because I loved him. Our relationship turned into a mother and son relationship where I had to remind him about things. I had to deal with his financial mistakes, his violent outbursts, etc. We never did things normal couples would do, like go out, dance, party, sit under the stars. I told him in July that he had a month to change my mind, and it didn't happen, so I broke up with him. I have big prospects in life and I am a highly motivated individual, but it was extremely challenging to have to be someone else's motivation to simply get out of bed or get off his video games. As far as his half-brother goes, Tyler had asked him to check in on me and asked me how I was doing after I broke up with him, so of course we got close, and our relationship just built from there. I did not leave Tyler for his half-brother, and I have never been unfaithful to Tyler. The things he has been saying about me hurt, and that is something we mutually agreed not to do to each other, but it is not being reciprocated now. I think it's just easier for him to hate me than to be hurt by my decision to break up. I hope he moves on and finds happiness because that's exactly what I'm doing. Finally, speaking to Kotaku, Maddie provided further details which Kotaku paraphrased as follows. In subsequent conversations with Kotaku, she discussed the failure of the relationship and lamented the drama that was coming from this proposal getting further publicity and for her being viewed as the bad guy. I don't want to hurt him, she said, while also noting that she'd been harassed and threatened on social media. It's just ridiculous, she said. I'm sure many of you will be tempted to chime in on who was right and who was wrong, but for my part, the last thing I want to do is butt in and pretend like I know the circumstances behind this relationship. All I'll say is that relationships are complicated. Breakups can happen for any number of tangible reasons. There are often two sides to a story, and ultimately, the best we can hope for is that everyone gets through this rough patch and continues to live their life to the fullest and find their own happiness, which is still out there somewhere. And despite the regrettable ending, I do want to commend Insomniac for trying their best to accommodate Tyler's request and for being considerate of the aftermath of this situation. It kind of feels like they got caught in the crossfire for trying to do good, but I think most people will acknowledge that Insomniac tried their best here, and it's really cool what they did. On the bright side, there are plenty of other awesome, less depressing Easter eggs out there. It's just this one that didn't quite culminate the way most people expected. Anyway, there you go, folks. Everything you need to know about the well-intentioned Spider-Man Easter egg that unwittingly took an unforeseen turn for the worse. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content and would like to support this channel directly, consider donating on Patreon. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out.